It's Week 15 of the National Football League, and we're going to see Mark Andrews. He had a standout game 1 week ago with 3 touchdown catches. It's the Ravens and the Jaguars on Sunday night primetime.
With a December snow blanketing much of the Midwest and Northeast, what a perfect time to be in the Sunshine State as we welcome you to TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, Florida. Tonight we've got a great Sunday night matchup on tap as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Alongside my partner Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Jaguar team. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason.
The Jaguars defense ready to go and in good form coming off the shutout a week ago. And the one we'll be watching is this man at corner.
And he's been a key reason why this defense is ranked as the #1 unit in the NFL. His ability to be in the right place nearly all the time and make big plays is a big reason why.
They'll run with Edwards here to begin the drive. And they're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. You look at this Jaguar defense. They were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Josh Allen in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. The Jacksonville defense back onto the field. Nothing on the scoreboard for either side here. 0-0 in the opening quarter as this next drive gets underway. Edwards now on 1st and 10. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Holding offense.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
Jackson from the shotgun. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. It's a big play, yet amazingly, because of how far they had to go, they're still looking at a 2nd down here. But that last throw, Charles, puts him over 15,000 yards passing now for his career.
And Brandon, they're not going to stop the game and give him the game ball here, but that's still a pretty impressive number, and he's got plenty of more good football ahead of him. Although I would say the team should give him a game ball after it's all over.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He'll grab 3 yards on the play, taking it himself for the 1st down. So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the 1st down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the 1st down, get a new set, and let's start over.
A run on 1st down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. A look at the numbers last week for Edwards. 19 carries, 61 yards.
Not a horrendous week last week running the ball, but definitely room for improvement for their numbers. No doubt, they made some slight adjustments to how they're going to call plays this week in hopes they can kick those numbers up a notch.
From the 31, here's a 2nd down and 9. From the gun, Jackson. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. Gus Edwards, the one he was looking for. And now it's 3rd down. You look at this Jaguar defense. They were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
And with the playoffs ahead, this is how you build momentum. This is how you have your defense rounding into form. A shutout here in the late going. They're playing their best football at the exact right time.
Now Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Rayshawn Jenkins picks it off, and they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
The Jags defense back on the field for this next possession. They lead 7-0, trying to put a stop together here as this drive starts with a 1st down. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Well, this defense for the Jags, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a 1st down. I have to imagine many defensive coordinators had a sleepless night trying to game plan ways to slow down Lamar Jackson. What do you think is the most effective way to try to do it?
Well, you've got to be a little counterintuitive because normally you're sitting on the wide receiver 1, aren't you? But with Lamar Jackson, I'd sit on the tight end. He loves to throw into the middle of the field, loves that position as his #1 target. Take that away and hope you have a corner who can stand up man-to-man against his speed guy on the perimeter.
Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Give up the gut to Hill. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 3. Here's Jackson to throw. Complete to Likely. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 41-yard line. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven 1st.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
Now Jackson on 1st down. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, 1st down.
No surprise to see him running again here. It's something he's done throughout this season. And that run puts him over 500 yards on the ground for the year. He's got to be thinking to himself, if I'm already at 500, what's to stop me from going for 1,000?
Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And that will be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
The Jacksonville defense back onto the field. Their guys have the lead here in this first half, and they'll try to further the cause on their end as this drive begins 1st and 10. Jackson on 1st down. They set up the screen to Hill, and he'll get nothing out of that one. The Ravens moving quickly here as the clock runs. Now this throw caught left side. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. Jackson now. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
One of the league's best linebackers. He ended that play almost before it began. And the running back, absolutely overmatched no matter what he tried to do.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Up the middle, it's Edwards. And he is going to lose yardage here. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. The Jags defense back on the field for this next possession. And they'll begin by trying to defend a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. On 2nd down, Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
And now this throw incomplete, and that is how this first half will come to an end. So we hit the halftime break here in Jacksonville with the Jags on top. As we now go downstate to Orlando and check in with Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started out west in Las Vegas, where you see the final score there. Austin Eckler, over 100 yards rushing with a touchdown run. From there, we'll head east to check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. And it was the visiting Atlanta Falcons who come in and get the victory. Mac Hollins, a touchdown catch in the victory. And one more to highlight, a good one on Monday Night Football.
between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots.
The Jacksonville defense back onto the field. They've been the dominant side so far, working with a 2-score lead here in this third quarter as this next drive gets underway. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Play action. Now Jackson. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. 39 yards there. A big one.
That's the kind of play this offense desperately needed. They've got to be saying, our defense has kept us in the ball game. We're down, but we're certainly not out. And maybe that was the spark that they've been searching for.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. A short throw caught by Andrews. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, you know, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man and try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6.
And this is one of those plays that if you can use it to keep the chains moving, it's a good play. And not only that, it tends to tamp down the pass rushers because they have to recognize this play and stay at home. The quarterback uses it well. Read option, keeps it, and picks up a first down with some nice running.
The quick feet by Jackson. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Now, hang on here a second. Looks like a Jaguar in some obvious discomfort from that last play. Well, hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Jackson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, in the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, second and goal. Now it's Jackson. And this one too low. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They give him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the third. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run. The Jags defense back on the field for this next possession. They'll have to defend the short field here as this drive begins with a 1st and 10.
Let's go get it now. Let's get some luck.
They'll try to get the offense going with Hill. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 24 now, here's 2nd down and 8. To throw is Jackson. Finds his man over the middle. It's likely. And that's good for a gain of 6. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. One quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And he will have a Ravens 1st down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. And they run with Edwards off the option. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They'll set up to run the quarterback draw. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down. If you're going to run against this unit, especially down here, just beware. I mean, they're the top rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, and then they go ahead and they double down with the whole thing because you think, okay, let's throw the ball. Oh, yeah, that's right. They defend the pass pretty well, too.
And in for the Ravens touchdown. Odell Beckham. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. And we are set up for a fantastic finish now. A 4th quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know that...
The Jacksonville defense back onto the field. They're locked in a tight one. Tie game, 4th quarter. So coming up with a stop here, vital, as this drive begins 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he will be marked down short of the 1st as they get to him at the 29. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. The Jags defense back on the field for this next possession. And this game is coming down to the wire, so they know this is the drive that will likely decide the outcome. Jackson. That's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And so much for the game-winning 2-minute drive. I think that interception return there pretty much seals the deal.
And one thing to keep in mind, in this situation with the score that close, defense isn't backing off and just giving you easy throws. They're playing aggressively as well, and they end up picking that one off and sealing the deal for themselves.
The Jacksonville defense back onto the field. They had the pick six just a moment ago, so they're feeling good as they prepare to try and make another stop. Jackson. And his throw is incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
Jackson to throw. His throw incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely four-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the first down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Now Jackson. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now, boy, the ball's going to go over on downs here inside the 10-yard line. So this will be a win for Jacksonville, and they've got to feel good about this performance. I think you'd agree, matched up against a top 5 defensive unit in the league, and they pretty much had their way.
Yeah, that was the interesting part about it, because normally when we see this defense play, they have their opportunities and they make their plays, don't they? They knock them back on their heels. They take the ball away. They change field position. In this case, what you said is so apt. They had their way with them, took it to them, and knocked them back on their heels and surprised the heck out of them.
So for the Jaguars, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, it's a late season stumble as they're going to fall to 12-2 on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.
Nice W today, man.